Chip Kelly is about to name the first starting quarterback he's had in a quarterback derby in over a decade in a pivotal year for UCLA. That and more in this episode of our Pac-12 Media Day interviews. Let's go. It's the #1 college football show. I'm pleased to be joined by UCLA head coach Chip Kelly. Coach, how you doing?
I'm great. We're at Pac-12 Media Day and just getting rolling, so it's a good day. It means you're closer to football starting.
Yes, it does. And we're close to getting to see your offense roll again. I'm having to talk to kids now, recruits, right? It's part of my job. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I have to remind them is Oregon was a force when I was in college, right? And yet they're like, but has Chip Kelly groomed some some quarterbacks? I'm going, what are you talking about, right? I'm having an argument with them, but they've also brought to my attention, you haven't had a quarterback derby since basically 2012 with DTR being your starting guy for 48 straight games. How excited are you to have a bona fide quarterback derby in preseason camp?
I think I kind of liked it the other way when you knew exactly who you had because he was a great one. But we do have a bunch of talented kids. They were great in the spring. Colin Schley is a transfer from Kent State. Ethan Garbers has played for us in the last couple of years and has come really along. Dante Moore is a high school recruit out of Detroit that enrolled early and did a really nice job. And Justin Martin is a local kid that's in a redshirt freshman. And so all of those guys, I thought, really stepped their game up. The great part of a quarterback derby is that competition brings the best out of everybody. And I think all of those guys got better through spring practice.
So UCLA going into last year, the Pac-12, but I'm more curious about how you found out that UCLA was going to the Big Ten, because the story I heard is that you and head coach Ryan Day at Ohio State found out that you were both going to be in the same conference at a golf tournament?
Yeah, that's 100% true. We were back home. We're both from New Hampshire. I got a call. And my phone was in my bag, didn't really pay attention. And then I had missed 2 calls from our athletic director, a text message from the athletic director, and 2 calls from the associate athletic director and a text message from him. So I thought something had happened. And then they called and said in 2 hours there's going to be a vote that we're going to go into the Big Ten, but you can't tell anybody. And I said, all right, when Ryan Day is in the cart behind me. So I'm a loyal soldier. I didn't say anything. And we got up to, I think they caught us around hole 16, and he just kind of looked at me, and I'm sure he was hearing it from his side. And I looked at him, and I didn't say anything. And we got to the clubhouse, and it was announced, and he just smiled, and I laughed. And my first initial response was like, oh my God, we're going to the Big Ten. And then when I asked our athletic director when, he said 2 years. I was like, don't worry about it. Well, give me the details later, because 2 years is a long time. So we still have one more season in the Pac-12 this year, and that's what our focus is on. But that is a 100% true story. We were together when that news broke.
It also raised to me just how long you and Coach Day have known each other and been friends, quite frankly. He played quarterback for you at the University of New Hampshire. He's been on your staff before. I love the what if he went with you to Oregon in 2007. If anything, how excited are you to have that be basically a normal part of your college football calendar in the future, getting to play against Ryan Day's Buckeyes?
I don't know if we're excited about playing against each other. We were together last weekend, and we're both hyper competitive. We'd like to beat other people. I don't think we like to beat each other. So, and we've never faced each other before. But they're obviously the lead dog in that conference, and a team that obviously that everybody in the country is focused on because of how successful they are every single year. So we'll have our work cut out for us when we play them. But again, that's a little bit of ways away. We're going to focus and concentrate on 23 here and see what we can do this season.
One of the things that got my attention is your hire of Anton Lynn, who's 33, right? And then we're at a time when it's cool to hire guys my age to be your defensive coordinator, your offensive coordinator. What brought you to hiring him?
It's unique. He's got a unique journey in the game of football. Was a really good player at Penn State. Played for the Jets for a year. And then immediately after his 1 year in the league, he started in the league. And so he's 33 years old with 12 years of NFL experience. And I think that's what kind of set him apart from everybody else that we interviewed. He's sharp, comes from a football family. His dad was a former head coach in the NFL, Anthony Lynn, who I get great respect for. And then there's a maturity to Danton that if you met him and someone told you his age afterwards, you'd be like, no way. That there's a maturity and there's a wisdom in him that was really impressive and came across very well to our players. So we're really excited. We battled both offense against defense during the spring, and I'm excited about Danton's first season with us this fall.
I'm curious if you let Carson Steele bring his pet gator to practice.
The good thing about Carson is that he left his pet alligator, Crocky J, back in Indiana with his family. It stays at his house. He actually didn't even bring it to Ball State. He left it at his home. So I was curious. It's a great story, but then I was actually nervous when he committed. Like, is he going to bring that thing with him? And then where would we house him in Westwood? Because I don't think there is an alligator policy in Westwood, Los Angeles. So, but we did not have to even broach that because he left it back in Indiana.
My last one for you, Coach. You've been creeping up on 10 wins since you got to UCLA, 8 in 2021, 9 in 2022. How difficult is it to get to 10 wins at UCLA?
Yeah, that's the challenge, and we're excited. But hopefully we have really smart kids at our school, so they know that it goes 8, 9, 10. So if we can just count, hopefully this is the year we break through that barrier.
UCLA head coach Chip Kelly, thank you for taking time to join us here on the #1 college football show.
Thanks, RJ.
I'm pleased to be joined by Oregon head coach Dan Lanning. Coach, how you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
I got to say, Coach, the way that your program responded in 2022 to finish with 10 wins was really remarkable, especially given the way it started. What were the things that you were preaching en route to an 8-game winning streak, I might add, to get your program back to, hey, no, we're good. We're good. We're fine. We're a good football team?
Yeah, we never really concerned ourselves with the opinions of others, right? We always looked internally to where we could be better, and our guys really accepted that approach.
And in accepting that approach, you also got a lot out of Bo Nix, more than I think we've ever seen him give in any particular season. What do you think was going right for your quarterback?
Well, I think Bo just showed the world what he's capable of. We always knew the talent that Bo had. He needed people around him that trusted his ability, and it was fun to see him excel in this offense. Obviously, he's truly become a great leader for our team, and he's an exceptional player.
After having the remarkable season that you had, getting to lift that Holiday Bowl trophy, you also had to deal with what happens when you are a good football coach and you got a good football program. People hire your coordinators to be head coaches. So you go out and you get a guy in Willie Stein who knows how to do this. But I'm curious, what led you to hiring a 33-year-old offense coordinator from UTSA?
Yeah, ultimately, you want to go find the best and the brightest, right? And I think it's always a challenge for you as a coach when there's transition. One, you want that in your program. You want to create opportunities for guys on your staff. If they want the chance to become head coaches, you want to create that. And we're fortunate enough to be in a place that we can do that. But Will really shared a lot of the same philosophical values that I had. We had some connections of guys that he had coached with that I had coached with as well. And been around, and just being able to, the more we had conversations, the more I recognized it was a really good fit.
You're a defensive guy, and I say that as a lead into this might be the deepest quarterback conference in the sport this year. What's it like to prepare each and every week knowing that the guy that is throwing the ball across from you and can sling it?
Yeah, it's a unique challenge, and it is. It's the deepest quarterback class for sure. I mean, I think this league presents a unique challenge, and every week you're going to have to go against a guy that can play ball. And it always starts with the quarterback. That's the first thing you always assess when you're watching the opponent. And for us, we're lucky enough to get to go against some great ones.
It's always something in this conference, too. Last year, it was Lincoln Riley joining USC along with you and seeing how you guys would hold up. And now we know exactly what that looks like. Both of you guys had double-digit win seasons. This year, Coach Prime in Colorado entered the picture. If anything, what do you think this says about the Pac-12?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of excitement around our conference right now. Obviously, we had several 10-win teams, several teams that are capable, and it only makes our conference better.
And in making your conference better, are you looking around and going, goodness me, do we have something working here that gets us back to winning these Pac-12 championships that folks got so excited about us winning not just 5 years ago?
Yeah, when you start, taking a deep dive into our program, I think you see the pieces in place. But you don't want the easy route; you want the hard route, and it's fun to be in a place where there's a challenge to create that.
I'm curious what you're doing to try to stay grounded as head coach at Oregon, knowing this is going into year 2 for you, but you've already been successful.
Yeah, I didn't come here for 1 year to have success for 1 year. For me, there's long-term goals. This is a place that's done so much for college football when I talk about Oregon, but we have a lot more to accomplish here, and I certainly have some long-term goals to accomplish here, and I'm in a great place to be able to do that. So it's exciting to know that you have a great vision, alignment with the university, and the players capable of competing for championships.
Is there something you can pinpoint, other than winning more games, to get into the Pac-12 championship game that you didn't do last year?
Yeah, we had some tight battles down the stretch that we've got to perform better and we got to finish out. But ultimately, we just finished a SWOT analysis with our team where we took a deep dive into our strengths, our weaknesses, recognizing our opportunities that exist out there and the threats to those opportunities. And I think as long as we keep our main focus on what we can do to get better, the process of that, then I think the results take care of themselves.
Can you tell me just one of those strengths that you identified with your 2023 team?
I'm not giving you the answers to the test, man. No, quarterback. We've got a guy that can compete, and when you have a quarterback, you have a chance. But I feel like we're a deeper team than we were last year. We're a more connected team than we were last year. Last year you're trying to figure out what you have, and now I think we have a really good grasp of what we had, and we've added some really key ingredients as well. I mean, we have 45 new scholarship players on our team this year, which is unique. But to complement that with what we already have here, I think that provides some unique opportunities.
I will second that. You have one hell of a good quarterback, and I wish you and him good luck this season. Oregon head coach Dan Lanning, thank you so much for joining us here on the #1 college football show.
Thank you. Have a great one.
I'm pleased to be joined by Oregon quarterback Bo Nix. Bo, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I want to start things off talking about something that has nothing to do with football. How does it feel to celebrate your 1-year wedding anniversary?
It's unbelievable. It's the gift that keeps on giving. I'm blessed to have a wife that's so loving, and she's just a precious gift, and I love her a lot. And my life really changed when I got to know her, when I was able to be around her for the first time, and then obviously we've been together for a few years now. Been married for 1 year, and it really flies by. So. But it's been great. It was a special year.
I realize your last name is Nix, but Smoke was right there. I mean, all you got to do is take her maiden name. Izzy Smoke, Bo Smoke. You have a little smoke. You know what I'm saying? Who wants the smoke? No, it's right there. But since we're here, Stevie Nicks is also over there, and that one goes both ways. And just, out here giving you name choices.
Yeah, her last name was really awesome. It was really cool. I hadn't really heard it until I met her. But maybe we can use that for one of our kids' middle names or even their first name, maybe.
Yeah, man, there's a college football player running around named Smoke Monday. I mean, it happens. It's out there.
I was teammates with Smoke Monday at Auburn.
That's right, at Auburn. Yeah. See? Yeah. See? You're already there. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what little Nix looks like and what their name is.
Me too.
All right, football. What was your first clue that you were going to have a great season last year? Because frankly, it didn't start out great.
No doubt. To be honest, I knew we had a chance when I got here last offseason. We had a lot of, great talent around me. Had a really veteran and really solid O-line. They had played a lot of games together. They were very familiar with offense and terminology and pass protection and all that kind of stuff, and then we were able to run the ball really well as the season went on. But, I knew we had the talent, and I just wanted to see how it was all going to shake out. And yeah, with Georgia, it didn't start how we planned. It started, on the wrong foot, but immediately after that, we started turning it around and we started playing really good football. And as a collective group, we were one of the more explosive offenses in the country. Credits to our coaches and just how we went about the game and how we fought and we prepared, and we were very consistent, and we just had a good year.
It felt like Coach Dillingham had a lot to do with your improvement in 2022. Now you have a new offensive coordinator in Coach Stein. What's different about your relationship with him, and what is he trying to help you further develop?
Yeah, with Coach Dillingham, he really he let me play free. He gave me a lot of freedom. I was able to check some things and change some plays. With his consent, he allowed me. He prepared me and he allowed me to do those things within the confines of our system. And I think that's one thing that really helped me. I could see it and then get us in the right play and, ultimately get us out of some jams if that case ever presented itself. And he was all for that. If he was like, look, if it's a bad look, protect me, change it, check it, whatever you got to do, just get us out of it. And Coach Stein's very similar. He comes from a similar system. He's going to give me a lot of freedom. He wants me to play free, play fast, and just go out there and cut it loose.
One of the strengths of the Pac-12 this season is the quarterback play, and you are a very big part of that coming off that 2022 season we talked about. But if anything, what are you still trying to show the NFL in this year's final season of college football?
Well, just to build on what I did last year, continue to make throws from the pocket, continue to make tough plays, continue to, get us in the right play and get guys situated to where we're going to be at a good advantage for our offensive play versus the defense. And if I continue to do those things, I just feel confident that not only are we going to have some success offensively, our team's going to be really good, and then obviously the future will hopefully take care of itself. But right now I'm just worried about what I can do for my team, how I can, get us 1-0 on the weekend when we play games.
So you're from the South, and I say that as a dude that spent his childhood in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So I got to ask, what was your first clue that Eugene is not Auburn?
The restaurants are a lot different. There's no, I guess Southern guys like, fried chicken fingers and all the sides and all the fast food places and the Chick-fil-A's and, there's so many things that in the South that not necessarily has made it out West, but at the same time there's a lot of different culture and different food out West of the Pacific Northwest, and I've been able to try some of those and they've been really good. But yeah, the food I would just say is different. The restaurants are different, the style's a little different, but people are great, the landscape's great, and the football's awesome.
Man, look, football's awesome. We agree on that. But you tell me Chick-fil-A and Waffle House ain't near. I'm having a hard time with that, right? That's going to get into my soul just a little bit. You know what I mean? And do they have? Right. Now, you know what? We'll get off food. We'll stay on football because I could be giving you culinary advice about being in Eugene, and we could be talking about the differences and whatnot. But going into this 2023 season, one of the real overarching themes is USC and UCLA leaving to join the Big Ten in 2024. Now, I know you're not going to be a part of this transition when the Pac-12 is looking to, solidify its place as a Power 5 conference. But what do you think the strength of this league is, having played in it at a high level?
Well, yeah, just looking at this year and after playing last year, the quarterback position is, at an all-time high in the conference. We have some really good throwers, some really good athletes back there in the backfield, just really good players overall, really good quarterbacks. That spreads throughout the teams because with great quarterbacks, you got great O-linemen, great receivers, great depth around them. And then you got to be able to stop them so defenses, rise to the occasion and defenses perform at a high level. So overall, the Pac-12 has, really good talent, great talent across the board. Every position, some really good depth for a lot of teams. It just makes the conference tough. Playing 9 straight Pac-12 opponents at the end of the season is not easy, especially when each one can beat the other But you just got to go in each week mentally focused, prepared physically, and go out there and perform at a high level. Obviously, in the future, it's out of my control, whatever happens. But for this year, we know the Pac-12 is going to be very tough.
Bo Nix, thank you for joining us here on the #1 college football show.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Go Ducks.
I'm pleased to be joined by Utah quarterback Cam Rising. Cam, how you doing?
Doing great. Just happy to be here.
So after 2 back-to-back Pac-12 championships, I'm good because I get to talk to you about returning to Utah where, you know what, I'm going to go straight to it. When you beat USC last year and you said, I hope he liked it, did that just pop into your head or were you just answering the question as you saw it?
Kind of just popped in my head at the time. Yeah, just was really going off of what he was saying and heard him. And, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. And if you want to put that on your nails, it is what it is. You can decide to do whatever you want to do.
It felt like you personified Utah at that moment, like you were the program, which is no small feat given that you transferred in and you needed to ingratiate yourself, let alone become a leader with that program. It feels like I'm the only person that expects Utah to go and defend its Pac-12 championship, but it also feels like that's something y'all like hearing, that other people still don't believe after 2 Pac-12 championships and 2 Rose Bowl appearances that you're the best program in the Pac-12.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, I think if you just look at the past 2 years, I don't think we were picked first. So it's not how you start the year, we haven't even started the year. So it's not how you but preseason it's how you finish the year. So that's all we really focus about, and that's all we're really worried about at the time right now.
I'm curious, like I think most Utah fans are, about your health because that has been pivotal to Utah's success. Have you changed how you go through strength and conditioning in the spring going into the fall? Are there changes in your diet and how you eat, things that might help you better prepare for the physicality of the season to come?
Yeah, absolutely. In the weight room, been just trying to get as strong as I possibly can, make sure that I'm ready to take any and every shot that comes with playing football, and just really, yeah, diet comes in there, just making sure that we're eating the right things and not just getting too many cheat meals in there, just really focused on eating healthy and stuff that's really going to make you feel good and just allow your body to recover the best. So that's really been my main focus.
What's it like to have a former quarterback playing tailback for you in Jaquindon Jackson?
It's special. I mean, whenever you have a guy who can see the field as a QB and just apply it to his position like that, it's special. It makes my job that much easier. I have so much more confidence saying that he's going to know that the Sam's coming off the edge to this side because that safety is rotating this way and stuff like that. So just it saves me a lot of stress, and just it's nice to have Jaquindon right there.
No disrespect to your position, but y'all ain't exactly known for blowing up people when it's time to pass protect, right? So to see him actually go out there and put his head in somebody's chest, how does that make you feel?
Oh, it fires me up. I mean, yeah, they take ownership in that running boom. Coach Quinton, he makes sure that they approach blocking just like they do if they're getting the ball in the inside zone. So that's why they have so much aggression, and I think that's why they're flying around and able to block so many guys in the middle, and having a big, strong guy like JJ in there makes it easy.
How are you going to replace the production that you got from Dalton Kincaid, Brant Keithy?
Well, we got Brant back, so that's a positive having him. Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah. So putting him in there and just making sure that he can come back to what kind of player he was, and then just having everyone else pick up the slack. And I think a big part of that is going to be the receiving room. We've gotten some new pieces and just some guys that have been in the room, and I think they're going to mesh together and just create a great room that's competitive top to bottom. And we're going to have guys that can go out there and make some plays. So it's just going to be kind of by committee rather than just one guy just taking the load.
I'm curious going into this 2023 season and what I think is going to be your last season of college football. What do you still have to play for? What do you want out of this season?
I won a third championship. I believe that's never been done in the Pac-12 recent history. So trying to go out there and get that done, and then just the sky's the limit. I think this team has the most depth I've ever seen, and I think the defense is as talented as I've ever seen. So, and it's just going to come down to how the offense can really carry their weight and just come down and put their best foot forward. And if we can do that each and every week, I think we can look at that college football playoff.
Do you play video games? Are you a gamer?
A little bit, here and there, yeah.
Have you given thought to who should probably be on the cover of EA Sports' college football, a.k.a. Zombie NCAA?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's kind of not easy to pick against the Heisman Trophy winner sometimes, you know. So I gotta kind of give him the nod on that one.
Look at you. Hey, he won the Heisman. Yeah. He can be on the cover of the college football video game. That's all right. That's pretty good.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
yeah.
Look, last one for me. Do you think that if Coach Whittingham put on the pads, that you would like to see him in the hole?
Like head up?
Yeah.
If he's got that neck brace on, no chance I want to see that head up, because I know he's gonna have the crown of his helmet coming right at me, and it's just not gonna be good. So I'll go ahead and sit that one out.
Right on. Utah quarterback
Yes,
Cam
sir.
Rising, thank you so much for joining us here on the #1 college football show.
Appreciate you.
I'm pleased to be joined by Washington quarterback Michael Penix Jr. Mike, how you doing?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm good, bruh. I want to get started with this. There has never been a better passing season by a Washington quarterback than you had last year. Not Damon Heward, not Brock Heward, not Jake Browning, not Warren Moon. So how do you feel knowing that you threw for more yards than anybody else has thrown for in a season at Washington?
To be honest, I feel like it's a lot more, out there that, I want to accomplish. Obviously, I'm blessed to be in the position I am in today, to be able to do that. It was special. It was a special season last year. But like I said, we're chasing a lot more. And, I look forward to, being better than I was last year, this year.
Your career has been a journey, one heck of a career arc. But last year, it felt like Coach DeBoer was able to unlock some of those things that were out there for you. How did he get the most out of you last year?
Yeah, just making sure that I was 100% prepared, and it was also Coach Ryan Grubb, our offensive coordinator. That's who I'm usually with every day. He's just making sure that, every time I snap the ball, I know that I have outlets and, I feel comfortable with the play. So, I just feel like just make sure that I'm in comfortable positions and make sure that, I know the playbook like on the back of my hand, and just make sure I just go out there and have fun at the end of the day. So I feel like I was able to just go out there and have fun and not really think about too much whenever I was underneath them.
Bro, you threw 31 TDs last year. And the thing that I remember most about it is this. So you got to tell me, as I'm making an Archer pose here, right? Where'd you get the Archer celebration from?
I don't know. That's just something I just started doing. I'm low-key might switch it up this year. So you might see a new little celebration this year.
Well, can you hit that one for me right quick?
I can't do it yet.
Oh,
I can't do it yet.
All right. So one of the things that I think is most interesting about not just last year for you, but last year for the program is that you got a lot out of Jalen McMillan and Rome Odunze. How big is having a great season from those guys for you?
Yeah, Rome Odunze and Jalen McMillan, they're phenomenal players. Those are guys that come in every day and they put in the work. They actually go out there, and those are like our two best receivers last year, stat-wise, and they show it every day in practice, but that receiver room is stacked. We got a lot of guys. We got Jalen Polk, transfer came in, Jeremy Bernard, Giles Jackson still there. We got young guys coming in too as well that's going to be able to make an impact. So, I feel like it's just a lot of talent in that room, and, they push each other each and every day, and, they bring the best out of each other all the time.
I'm always interested to hear how y'all fit the whole wide receiver room into what you're doing when we're talking about a couple of players. But it also is indicative of how y'all go through practice, how y'all hang out. If anything, what are some of the things you do to create that chemistry, not just within the quarterback room, but across the team.
Yeah, I just feel like, just like you said, just hanging out outside, just getting that trust, just trusting each other. And, I feel like a lot of film study, we watch film together so that we know where we want where they know where I want them to be and they know where I expect to put the ball. So just having that connection, just being locked in that standpoint so that whenever we go out there, we're playing fast and we're just having fun. We don't really have to, think about too much. And they know where I want them and, they know that I'm going to get them the ball whenever they get open. So it make it easy.
You a Florida boy, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you got up to Seattle, when did you first learn, hey, this ain't Florida? This ain't nothing like Florida?
I don't know. At first, it was a little rain at first. In the winter we get some rain. It's not what everybody say though. It's not nothing crazy. It's not no downpour. Florida and Tampa, we get a lot of downpour. You got the tropical storm and stuff like that. So we get a lot of rain too in Florida. Like people just see Florida and they just think sunshine. But in Tampa we get rain. Hurricane season come around. It's gonna rain almost every day, hard. For a couple minutes. But it's not like no hard downpour. So it's not something that's unbearable and something that's like, oh, I don't want to be here because of it, So, but that was one of the differences. It's just, just slight rain, for majority of the winter. But last year we was blessed to have wonderful weather, and I try to say I brought some of the Florida weather in the season last year, the sunny part. So we was blessed to have good weather last year, but we're looking forward to this year as well. Whatever it brings us, we'll be ready.
I mentioned the great season you had in 2022. It reminded me of the season that Kenny Pickett had in 2021. Now, he came out and went in the NFL draft, got drafted in the first round. You chose to return to Washington. What are you hoping to show, if anything, to the NFL this season?
Yeah, mainly just durability and that it wasn't just, a one-season thing. It's something that I can do consistently and something that, I've always had in me. I just needed a reset, making the transfer to University of Washington. It was the best decision I made. So just having that reset and just being able to, just go out there and do it for a second year, this year it'll be very special.
On the way out, can you hit the Archer celebration for me just one time? Hey, bang, there it is. Thank you so much, Washington quarterback Michael Penick Jr. for joining us here on the #1 college football show.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
I'm pleased to be joined by Oregon State head coach Jonathan Smith. Coach, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
I'm very curious about the quarterback position. It's not just because you got DJ Uiagalelei there, but because it was not a position of strength for you in 2022. Knowing you got a lot coming back in 2023, how excited are you about that room going into 2023?
Yeah, we're definitely excited. We did feel like we wanted to create some more competition in the quarterback room after last season. There's some solid things, but we can take it a step forward and bringing DJ in and allowing him to, get his feet wet with the new offense. It's dramatically different, and had a good spring ball. I think our guys are excited about not only DJ, but we've got Ben as a returning starter last year. He started 8 games, won 7 of them, and we like our freshman we signed as well. Aiden Childs was there for spring ball, so we've definitely got some talent in the QB room.
He's a quarterback that I'm very high on since he left St. John Bosco. He's got all the talent. You can see it there. Do you see the comparisons to a guy like Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills?
Well, I guess I don't know Josh Allen that well. I know he's physically gifted, as a runner and a thrower, and that is DJ. He's a physical specimen, studies the game, knows the game, has some real arm talent, strong arm, but can move his feet for being 250 pounds.
This is also a conference that has benefited from some reclamation projects, if you will. Michael Penix had an outstanding year last year after losing his way at Indiana. Same thing with Bo Nix at Oregon after losing his way at Auburn. And this year, you've got one of those guys that I think can turn into an outstanding player. Not to harp on it too much, Coach, but having him back on the West Coast feels like it's a good thing for him. It feels like it's a good thing for Oregon State. How is this being treated around your program?
Yeah, there's a lot of excitement with his name and, his recognition. I do think it's a fit for both sides. I think a fresh start for DJ coming back to the West Coast, an area where he's comfortable with. And then for us, like I'm saying, the ability to get the ball down the field and score points, you got to be able to throw it better than we have. And that's the plan.
I want to pivot to someone else in your backfield that I'm very excited about. We got a segment on the show called Diamond in the Rough where I identify a player or a coach that I think doesn't necessarily get the recognition they deserve. And you got one of those in Damian Martinez, 982 yards on the ground, 6.1 yards per rush. I'm sorry to reveal the secret, but it feels like you got a dude back there that can end up all Pac-12, if not make it all-American team.
Yeah, he had a great, freshman year. As a freshman, this was his first year, true freshman year to get going, and he didn't carry the ball a ton in the first couple of games. He would have been over that 1,000 mark easily if we would have given him the ball earlier in the year. So, special player, really gifted, natural running back, has added to his repertoire with catching the ball out of the backfield and doing some protection things. He's got some buddies next to him now in that running back room, which I think actually helps Damian, so it takes the load off of him a little bit. Deshaun Fenwick, Jam Griffin coming back. So, we're expecting big things out of Damian and the running back room.
Do you think that you can have the same kind of defense that you had in 2022? I was amazed to see how you guys played defense, not just as your running back was going for, I think, 6 straight 100-yard rushing games between October 15th and about November 26th, but that defense stayed on top of everybody.
Yeah, they played really well, especially at the end of the year. And that's, tough to replicate year in and year out, being the best defense in the conference. We do got a lot of guys back. With the safety end, returning players, the line of scrimmage, a couple of D linemen counting on making an impact throughout the year. We've got to replace our 2 starting corners that were good players for us from last year. If we can get that accomplished, I think we can be good on defense again.
Going into a pivotal year for the Pac-12, the last one for USC and UCLA, how do you feel about the future of the conference going forward?
I do feel confident that the future's bright. I think this season itself sets it up to show the quality of football that's going to be played in this conference. The returning players, the returning quarterbacks playing at a high level. We've got a bunch ranked in the top 25 to end the year last year. I think we'll be around that this fall again. So I'm pretty optimistic of the future, but totally locked in on this season, this fall.
Oregon State head coach Jonathan Smith, thank you so much for joining us here on the #1 college football show.
Thanks for having me.
That concludes our Pac-12 Media Day interview series. We will be back next week with our Big Ten Media Day interview series. And until then, I will see you. Deuces.